Okay, we're recording. All right, so I'm going to share my screen again. Just let me know if you guys can see it. Just drop a 1 in the chat. All right, cool. Great. Okay, so the first strategy I'm going to tell you guys about is the teacup strategy. So right now I am on the 1 hour on USD CAD. So it's the US dollar to the Canadian dollar. And I'm going to be showing you guys the simple strategy for this. It's literally only 4 steps. So it's really, really easy to like get a hold of. All right, so I'm actually gonna write the steps down too. So if anybody is on like their phone or if you can screenshot on your laptop, perfect. This will be super easy and you'll be able to get everything. Okay, so with the teacup strategy, the first thing you're gonna be looking for is a bullish candle and a bearish candle. So I'm actually gonna show you guys this teacup that I have right here because it activated and it hit, and I can show you exactly like what I was looking at and how everything ended up playing out. So the first thing that I'm going to look for is a bullish and a bearish candle. So let me remove all the drawing. Let me move this real quick. These come into play around the 3rd step, but I'll get into those too. 1 second. Let me just delete this. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to be looking for is a bullish and a bearish candle. So right here I have my bullish candle, and right here I have my bearish candle. My bullish and my bearish. So that's the first thing I'm going to look for. Okay, let me write that out. Step 1. Step 1 is to look for a bullish and a bearish candle. And if people walk in, I'm sorry, I'm in the library of my school. Bearish candle. So I can't really stop them from coming in, but it's fine. So I'm looking for a bullish and a bearish candle. Right here's my bullish candle, here's my bearish candle. So once I have that, so the bullish candle is going to be my first candle, the bearish candle is going to be my second candle, and then I'm going to be looking for the third candle, and I'm looking for a lower low or a lower high. So what that means is I'm looking for ideally another bearish candle, so another red candle, but this candle can also be a blue candle. And I'll show you like an example right here. I have my bullish, my bearish, and then I have another bullish, so that would be my lower high. But right now I'm just going to focus on bullish, bearish, bearish. So to put that into like even simpler terms, you're looking for a blue candle, a red candle, and another red candle. So that's step number 2, is to look for a lower low or a lower high, or another bullish candle, which is lower than the first bullish candle, or another bearish candle, which is lower than the first bearish candle. Sorry if that's confusing. Trust me, once you get the hang of it, it'll be super easy. So that's step number 2. So again, in the simpler terms, blue, red, red. That's all you're going to look for. I'll write that down too. Blue, red, red, or blue, red, blue. So that's all you're going to look for step number 2. Step number 2 is done. So once you have that, then you're going to go to your tools over here and select a horizontal line, or you can do a horizontal ray, it doesn't really matter. I prefer the horizontal line. So I'm going to place a horizontal line right there, and because I'm a visual learner, I like to see things clearly and like visually, so I color coordinate all of my lines. So my entry line is going to be white, my take profit line is going to be green, and my stop loss line is going to be red. So right here, I'm placing a horizontal line at the tops of the bodies of the first 2 candles. So remember I said that the bullish candle is going to be candle number 1, and then your bearish candle is going to be candle number 2. So at the tops of the bodies of the first 2 candles, so here and here, you want them to kind of be even, but then I'm going to place a horizontal line right at the top. And that's step number 3. Let me mute everybody real quick. Okay, we're good. So that's step number 3, is to place a horizontal line at the tops of the bodies of the first 2 candles. So that's step number 3. Step number 4 is to find your take profit and to find your stop loss. So really with the teacup strategy, you're looking for the certain candle pattern, blue, red, red, and then placing a horizontal line, and then that's going to be your entry. So to find my take profit and my stop loss, so my stop loss is always 30 pips. I'll put my stop loss over here. 30 pips. And on the 1 hour, I'm looking for 20 to 30 pips. I do my teacups on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily. So those are the take profits that I'm going to give you guys. But you can do it on whatever time frame. But these are the time frames that I've studied and that have been working for me. So on the 4 hour, looking for 40 to 50 pips. And then on the daily, 50 to 70 pips. So I'll put this right over here on the side, that way you guys can see them. So my stop loss is 30 pips for every time frame. I'll drop the recording in the group chats. But yeah, like I was saying, so step number 4 is to find your take profit and your stop loss. So that's it. That's all the teacup strategy is, looking for those 4 steps. But I'm going to show you how I get my take profit and my stop loss. So what I do, move this over here, and I'll like zoom out right now. That way you guys can screenshot it if you want to do that. But I go over here to this measuring tool, and I start it right at the entry price. And then for my stop loss, because teacups, you're going to put in a sell limit, and I'll put in like a little cheat sheet for a sell limit. But so with sell limits, the market is below price where you want it to hit. Let me move this. So if I want price to come back up here where my entry would be, this is going to be my sell limit entry. My white line is my sell limit entry. And if I were doing an inverted teacup, it would be a buy limit entry. So sell limit entry on your MT4, instead of my market execution, you're just going to put in a sell limit and put in this price that the horizontal line is attached to. So for me it was 1.32791. And then from my sell limit entry price, I'm going to measure up 30 pips. Right here, I'm going to take the horizontal line tool and place it right there. And then, like I mentioned before, I do like to color coordinate because I'm a visual learner. I make my stop loss red. And then for my take profit, same thing, I measure from the entry price and I measure down 30 pips. And I take another horizontal line and place it right there. And then me personally, you do not have to do this. I just like to I just change that green. So now that I have my entry, my stop loss, and my take profit, I just put it into my MetaTrader and I let the market come around, do its thing, and just wait for it. So with teacups, you do have to be patient with them because they don't activate right away. So right here was my entry, and then the market was just doing its thing. It went lower, and then right here, I was entered right here. It looks like it would be right here, but it was actually right here. So I was entered in the market right here, like in the middle of the body of this candle. I was in some drawdown for like a couple seconds, or not even that long, but my stop loss was all the way up here, so it didn't even come close. And once like this finished happening, this move finished happening, it just dropped, and I was pulled out of the market with my profits. So that's how the teacup strategy works. And if anybody wants to screenshot this, now's your time. But the reason it is called a teacup is because it kind of looks like a cup. So this isn't the prettiest teacup, but you can kind of get the idea. So there's the actual cup, and then here's the handle. So there's your teacup, and then like some steam. Yeah, so that's why it's called a teacup. Does anybody have any questions on this? Or does anybody want me to look at another one? Yes, you can trade this strategy on your own. So my entry comes from this white line. So in step 3, you have to place a horizontal line at the tops of the bodies of the first 2 candles. So the first 2 candles are the first 2 candles that you're looking for, you're bullish and you're bearish. So it goes back to step 1, placing it at the tops of the bodies of those first 2 candles. So right here, I placed the line right here, and then this line is attached to a number right here, and it's 1.32791. And yes, Lizaldo Tavares, he's the master educator who came up with this strategy, and I learned from him. I'm on his sessions. I'm almost on every session of his, and if not, I'm on the recording. But he goes live Sunday. Kim, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, I didn't get his name, and I actually had a follow-up question before you start talking about dude.
His name is Lizaldo Tavares. He's on Go Live. He's the educator who came up with these 2 strategies. I just learned them, and I like use them on my own. And now these are the 2 strategies that I trade because they work for me. I'm also in college, so it really helps because like I can't be on the charts 24 hours. So this really helps with like my school schedule and keeping me balanced and keeping me organized. And if anybody wants any tips on how to stay organized and balanced while you're in college and while you're trading, I do have a video on my Instagram. My Instagram is right here that you can watch, and I give like 3 or 4 tips on how you can be a full-time college student and a full-time Forex trader. And yeah, so definitely check that out. Leave some comments, leave some suggestions or anything. But this is the teacup strategy. That's really all it is. I can go over it one more time.
I do have another question though.
Yeah.
So like, I'm seeing where like you marked your chart and like where you set your line to, but since those 2 candles would have to be like done by the time you figure out it's a teacup, right? So like your entry would really be under where the limit is, like the M in limit. Would that be theoretically where your entry would eventually be, like if it was activated?
So my entry, if the market is below my entry is actually going to be above it. So
are you saying like I think I'm missing something? I mean, I am missing something.
No, you're good.
I'm trying to figure out like,
okay,
because I know how you determine where to set your sell limit. So like I'm trying to figure out like when it would be activated.
You can't really tell when it'll be activated. It just, the market like moves on its own. But that's why the sell limit is there. It's just a pending order. So like this took a couple days, but it could have taken like a couple weeks in order to activate. It's just being patient with it.
Okay, so like the entry would eventually be where it came back up to where the M is in limit.
Aí. Tchau, Karinita. Até amanhã, meu amor.
Right?
All right, everybody's muted. Okay, let me check the chat box real quick. What session do I personally trade in? I trade in, so the pair that I trade the most is GBP and ZD, and I've learned that it makes its move between 7 and 8 in the morning. So that's when I trade it. So I guess I trade London and like the very beginning of New York. How can you calculate how much money you are going to lose given where your stop loss is? So I have a tight stop loss, which is 30 pips, and this for all the pairs. It's just depending on your lot size and the pair is how it determines how much you're going to lose. How hard to interpret any demonstration? Yes, I can go over this one more time. Could you go over how do you find? Yeah, I can go over that too. The pip calculators, yeah. Okay, so for my stop loss and for my take profit, so these are the stop losses and take profits that I look for on the certain time frames that I trade. So for on every time frame, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily, my stop loss is always 30 pips. On the 1 hour, I'm looking for 20 to 30 pips. On the 4 hour, 40 to 50, and then on the daily, 50 to 75. So I just keep that in mind depending on what time frame I'm in. But the way I get those is from the white line, from my sell limit entry. I place my horizontal line at the tops of the bodies of the first two candles, and then I take this measuring tool over here, right here, and I place it right on the white line. And because it's a sell limit entry, I'm expecting the market to go into a sell. So I'm going to place my stop loss above that. And I just measure out 30 pips. And then I take my horizontal line again. I just leave that there. Okay, I don't know why it's not letting me, but I just leave it there. And then I get a horizontal line and then I place it right at the 30 pip line, because this blue box that you see right here, it stays. That way you can go and select a horizontal line and then just place it. So that's how I get my stop loss. And then for my take profit, because I'm expecting the market to go into a sell, I just go the opposite direction from my sell limit entry and calculate out 30 pips. And then I place a horizontal line there, and that's how I get my stop loss and my take profit. Yes, recording will be dropped in the chat. How do you determine that if this was a sell or a buy? See how it reverses at the level again and again. I don't use like any type of like fancy anything. I literally just look for blue, red, red, and then I place horizontal lines. Like it's really simple. I don't do anything special. I just look for a certain candle pattern, blue, red, red, and then that's pretty much it. We can look for another one. So with teacups, they are about like 80% accurate. They're not going to be 100%, obviously. Yes, so this can go for bullish markets. I'm going to show you guys that too. I'm going to show you actually right here. Right here is a good one. Okay, so right now I'm going to show you guys the inverted teacup. So does anybody have any questions on the regular teacups before I move on to inverted teacups? Inverted teacups work if the market is going up. Okay, so if there's no questions for now, we'll get back to that. But for now, I'm going to go into inverted teacups and show you how it can go for a bullish market. So for inverted teacups, it's just the opposite. Instead of a sell limit, you're going to be placing a buy limit. Let me remove this. These are my old lines. So instead of a sell limit, you're going to be placing a buy limit. And with the regular teacups, you're looking for a... Okay. So with inverted teacups, it's just the opposite. So regular teacups, you're looking for blue, red, red. With inverted teacups, you're looking for red, blue, blue. So right here, we have red, blue, blue. And I'll write these out too. So step one, bearish and bullish. Step number two, lower high or higher low. Yeah. So I'm looking for my bearish candle and then my bullish candle. Once I have that, I'm going to look for the third candle. And this one, I'm looking for another bullish candle. So I have my bearish, bullish, bullish. Then I'm going to take my horizontal line again, place it at the bottom of the bodies of the first two candles, change this to white. So this white line, that's going to be my entry for an inverted teacup. Once I have that, then I'm going to look for my take profit and my stop loss again. Same take profit, same stop loss, like for the amount of pips, 30 pips stop loss, and then 20 to 30 pips on the 1 hour. And then step number 4, and your take profit and your stop loss. So you're going to be setting a buy limit for these. So right here, it's my entry, and I'm going to take my measuring tool. Because I'm buying, my stop loss is going to be lower than my entry. So just 30 pips. Take another horizontal line, place it, change the color to red. And then again, this is attached to a number, so my stop loss would be 1.32192. And then I find my take profit, which 20 to 30, to 30. Place another horizontal line. I change this color to green, and then it's attached to a number, 1.32795. That's going to be my take profit. So instead of looking how the other one looked, it's gonna look like you dumped all the tea out of your cup. We draw it. So it's gonna look like this. And it kind of like went up slowly, but it eventually hit take profit. So an inverted teacup is the same thing as a regular teacup, it's just upside down and backwards. Okay, so on the daily, for inverted teacups, I prefer the daily, especially on EU. I prefer the inverted teacups on the daily for that time frame, but most of mine, like for regular teacups, are on the 1 hour. The line measures everything for you. Yeah, so this measuring tool, this measures everything. So my 30 pips, and then that's all you do. You just wait for the market to come around, and that's it. So does anybody have any questions on either of these, inverted teacups or teacups, before I show you an even simpler strategy? And if not, okay, cool. So I'm gonna change the pair. I'm gonna go to ADJPY. And this strategy is called the MA cross strategy. Let me go back over here. So with this one, you're using two indicators. You're gonna be using the simple moving average and the exponential moving average. So what you're gonna do to set it up, let me move them right here because I have them up. Just gonna go to indicators, type in moving average, and it's gonna be the first two that pop up, exponential and moving average. So just select those two, and then you're gonna see lines pop up on your chart. Over here, I don't know if you guys can tell, okay, that's better. Right here, I have the EMA and the MA. So the EMA, right here, you can see it's 9, that's the length. I need to change this to 50. So I'm gonna go to settings, go to length, change this to 50. And to see it better, I'm just gonna make the line a little bit thicker and then click OK. So this orange line is my EMA, my 50. And then for the simple moving average, or the MA, again, the length is 9. I need to change this to 4. So I'm going to change this to 4, and then I'm going to change the color to white just because it's easier for me to see, and make it thicker, and then press OK. So with this strategy, and I'll write these down too. I'll write the steps for these. You're looking for your indicators, moving average, and I spelled average wrong, AVE, RAGE, and exponential moving average. Okay. So the EMA is going to be 50, and the MA is going to be 4. And that's all you're doing with these. Yeah, right there, that's fine. So with this, all you're doing is waiting for the 50 and the 4 to cross. And that's gonna indicate either a buy or a sell. So right here, the 50 and the 4, they crossed going down. So it's an indicator for a sell. And as you can see, it sold. Those numbers specifically, I couldn't tell you because I wasn't the one who came up with these strategies. Lizaldo, Tavares, he's the one who came up with these strategies, and he just found that whenever those two lines crossed, that it indicated either a buy or a sell. So right here, they crossed, the 50 and the 4 crossed, and they crossed going down. So the white line crossed the orange line going down. So it indicated for a sell. And right here, we got it. So for this strategy, the take profit and the stop loss are different. My TP can be anywhere from 25 to 30 pips for the 1 hour. And then on the 4 hour, 45 to 60. And then on the daily, anywhere from 60 60 to 80 pips. And then my stop loss is 10 to 15 to 20 pips from where they cross, from where the lines cross. So I'm writing this all out just so you guys can see it. Like I mentioned, I'm a visual learner, so seeing things helps me connect things. So right here, the white line and the orange line, they crossed going down. So that indicated for a sell, and I was looking for 20 to 35 pips. And it eventually, it did end up giving 80, 85, 86 pips. So that's how this strategy works. You're just looking for the two lines to cross in either direction, and that's it. Right here, they crossed going up. Right here, they crossed going up. The white line crossed the orange line going up, and it indicated for a buy, and it ended up being a buy. And that it won't always happen like 100% of the time. Like right here, it crossed up, but then it just came right back down and kind of consolidated, and then eventually went back up. These are market executions. So yeah, so the MA cross strategy is going to be a market execution. But if this helps, give yourself kind of like some breathing room to see where the market decides to go. So like right here, you can see it just came right back down after it crossed. But if you give yourself some breathing room, like if you put an ellipse right there at the cross, and like you just decide once it passes the edge of the ellipse, that's when I'm going to go in for the buy, or that's when I'm going to go in for the sell. That helps a lot. That helps me a lot. That's what I usually do. I give myself some breathing room just in case the market decides to do something like this. So this strategy is even simpler than the teacup strategy. All you're doing is waiting for the lines to cross. The white line on on this white line. So for this white line, it's going to be my simple moving average, my 4. All I'm doing is waiting for them to cross. So kind of yes and no to that question. It's just right where the cross is, that's determining where I am. But it is a market execution. So with this, since they would show momentum or just regular, it's just regular candles. Everything about this is like, these are the simplest strategies. There's like no like Fibonacci, no nothing. It's literally just using your eyes and then lines. And yes, I can go over how to set up those again. Okay, so to set up those two indicators, you're going to go to indicators right here. Over here in the search button, type in moving average. It's going to be the first two that pop up. So moving average exponential, and then just moving average. Once I have that, I'm going to have these two lines on my chart now. And I want the EMA to be 50, and then I want the MA to be 4. So I'm going to change the settings for each of them. So for the EMA, go to inputs, change the length from 9 to 50. I'm just going to make the line a little bit bigger or thicker, and then just click OK. So that's done. Then for the MA, instead of 9, I want it to be 4. And then again, just make the line a little bit thicker. This is something that I personally do just so I can see it better. And then just click OK. And then all I do is wait for the two lines to cross. And then I'm either going in for a buy or for a sell market execution. So does anybody have any questions on this strategy? If not, does anybody have any questions on teacups or inverted teacups? The success rate for the MA cross, so if I were to take 12 trades, I'd get like 10 out of 12. Not always, but that was my best, was 10 out of 12. The buy and the sell limits are for the teacups. For the MA cross, it's market execution. Yep, one more time. We'll go to GBP and CP. So this is my favorite pair to trade. And because I showed the 1 hour, the 4 hour, I'll go on the daily. The teacups, okay. Tips for P600, I'll get into that right now, right after this. I'm gonna go over teacups really quick, and then I'll go over the MA cross. So let me just go back to UCAD. I also like to trade UCAD, as you can see. On the 1 hour. Okay, so for regular teacups, put this right here. All these lines are kind of everywhere. Okay, so with regular teacups, I'm looking for a bullish and a bearish candle. Right here I have my bullish, and right here I have my bearish. Once I have that, I'm looking at the third candle. So I'm looking for another bullish candle or another bearish candle. In order for the bullish candle to like validate the teacup, it has to be lower than this one. So in order for this candle to be blue and like be a valid teacup, it has to be lower than this blue candle. But to keep it simple, we're just gonna look for bullish, bearish, bearish. So blue, red, red. Once I have blue, red, red, then I'm gonna take a white line, a white horizontal line, and place it at the top of the bodies of the first two candles. So at the top of the body of the bullish and the bearish candle. This line then is attached to a number over here. So it's 1.32789, and that's gonna be my sell limit entry price. Once I have that, then I look for my take profit and my stop loss. So I take this measuring tool over here, place it right on the white line, and then because I'm selling, I'm gonna place my stop loss above my sell limit entry, and then take another horizontal line and place it right where that line was, right where it measured out 30 pips. So yeah, right there. Oh wow. And then for my take profit, I want it below the white line since I am expecting a sell. Just measure out 30 pips again for the 1 hour. And then I take my green line and just place it. So that's all that teacups are. It's just looking for a bullish, bearish, bearish, or blue, red, red, placing a horizontal line, and then entering some numbers. Does the wick affect the entry of a teacup? If the wick was on the bullish candle, is there more than 15 pips? Jackie, can you like clarify that question? Somebody wanted to be unmuted? Yes, okay. Let me find you real quick, that way you can unmute yourself. Okay. Thank you. Okay, you should be unmuted.
Okay, thanks. Hey, I guess my question was, and I'm sorry, I think I clicked on somebody else's name, so I'm sorry for privately messaging you. But
You're
I
good.
guess the question that I had was, how do you know when it's going to cross, or do you set some type of alert on TradingView, or you just have to keep watching that pair until the lines cross?
Okay, so you never really know. You can just keep watching that pair. I get alerts because I have Gold Cup. So Gold Cup actually sends out alerts for when pairs cross. So that's really helpful for me. But it's just watching the pair to see like when they're gonna cross. You can never really predict when they're gonna cross. But if you're watching it, then like you'll start to understand the pair and start to see how it moves.
Gotcha. So well, I guess it's key for you to kind of just choose a pair that you like to trade like you do, and just know the behavior of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
what
Thank
really
you.
helped me to like understand that was having a trading plan. And I got this from Ricky Valdez. He like gave a trading plan so write down the pair, write down the lot size, write down the time you're taking the trade, write down the emotions you're going through in the trade before, during, and after, and then like I'm pretty sure I said this, but your lot size, yeah, the time. I think that's everything.
Okay.
So
Can you
that
say lot size, time,
the pair,
pair? Okay.
the time of day that you're taking the trade, and then like your emotions throughout the trade. So before, during, and after.
Okay. Got it.
Mm. Yeah,
Perfect.
so
Thank you.
that's really helped me. You're welcome. There will be a recording for this, so I will drop those in case anybody missed anything. But tips for P600. I would say my biggest tip is to be in like the hip pocket of your upline. So the way I got to P600 was by reaching out to all of like my uplines, like the chairmans. So C John, he's my upline. I literally texted him every day for an entire month. Hey, can you get on a call with this person? Can you get on the call with this person? Like I'm pretty sure C John was about to block me because I texted him so much. But then like I saw he was getting busy, so I just started reaching out to other people. Like I reached out to Ruby, to Gustavo, I've reached out to Ricky, I've reached out to Darwin. Literally anybody who said that I could come to them for help. I was literally in their DMs, in their phones. I really blew up their phones. I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry. So that was my tip. Reach out to your uplines. Listen to personal development. Look at the people who have the success that you want and then copy that. So again, like I really look up to like Gustavo, to Ruby. I look up to Ruby a lot. To see John, just watching what they're doing. I literally texted all of them like, what do you do in a day? Like, what is your day like? And then I just took notes. Like take notes on everything. Take notes on every call in you're in. Those are my biggest, like, just learn. Like you can literally learn from everybody. Like Ricky says, like one thing that one person says can literally change your whole paradigm. It'll literally like start a shift and then you're just taking off. Yeah, that's what I did to get to P600. It was a journey, I will tell you that, but I wouldn't have done it without them. So I'm super grateful for them, super grateful for my team. I'm naturally I'm a really shy person, but I've learned to get comfortable with getting out of my comfort zone. So that's another big tip that I would give to you guys. Get out of your comfort zone. So does anybody have any more questions? And if not, again, I am a full-time college student and I do trade Forex. So if that's something like for the new people, if you're struggling, like how you're going to balance school or work and then trading, I do have a video on my Instagram right here that you can watch, and I give like a couple tips on everything. So if nobody has any more questions, I'll end the call here. I will drop the recording as soon as it's finished uploading. But thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to hop on this call with me. I really hope this like brought you guys value. These are the 2 simplest strategies that I know of, and they've really helped me. So yeah, don't give up. Yeah, don't give up. Just stay consistent. Have a trading journal, trading plan. Yes, a lot of people stress them, and they stress them for a reason. So definitely, like, yeah, just stay consistent. There will be times where it'll be hard, but it's okay. You got this. You have an entire team behind you. You're not alone whatsoever through the entire journey. So yeah, just reach out to your upline, reach out to me, anything. Yeah, so if nobody has any more questions, yes, you can DM me if you have any more questions. My name is Kacey Diaz. You can find me on Telegram or on Instagram. And yeah, so if anybody has any more questions, just hit me up. I'll be happy to answer them. And yeah, thank you guys so much for hopping on this call. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you all have an amazing day, have an amazing